Thomas Jenkins, you are an MP for the Labour Party.
That's correct.
There's been an issue about bankers invested in onshore have savings in Guernsey, the Isle of Man and Jersey, and they're not sure whether they'll receive 100% of their money. What are your views on this?
In respect of what?
That they will not receive 100% of their money they had saved up.
Well, you know, the Jersey authorities are separate from the English authorities. It's not in our hands. It's up to the authorities, up to the administrators, I suppose, up to what happens with Iceland. They may well not receive 100% of their money, and we're very sorry about that, but it's nothing to do with the English government.
Can you describe the relationship between the UK and the Channel Islands?
No.
So there's no relationship?
Well, they're a protectorate, which means, well, I'm not sure what it means really, but basically they have their own governing body, and they print their own money and so on. They're called a Crown Protectorate. They don't have their army, so I suppose we'd have to defend them. But in all other respects, they're completely separate from Britain.
Well, they are the Crown dependencies and are classified as British citizens. Wouldn't you agree with this?
They're British citizens?
Yes.
Well, in a matter of speaking, yes, they're British citizens. I mean, they have a passport, although the passport is slightly different. It has some writing on it saying something like the Bailiwick of Guernsey or something like that, wherever the particular island they're from. And many of them will have effectively the same passport as English people, but the point is it's separate. It has a separate governance that I've already indicated to you, and that is what allows it to have this special status, which has a very low tax regime. Otherwise, they'd be charging the same tax as UK mainland. So it's clearly separate.
I see. Alistair Darling made comments about the Isle of Man being just a tax haven sits in the Irish Sea. What are your views upon this? Would you agree with that statement?
Well, there's many tax havens throughout the world. I mean, one of the most well-known tax havens, and one of my personal favourites, is Monaco. You know, where you see the rich people on their yachts in the harbour, sipping champagne with the old dolly birds laying out salubriously in the sun, getting a lovely tan, while they watch the Monaco Grand Prix, and of course don't pay any taxes at all.
And you mentioned
Yes,
Monaco,
yes.
and I understand recently you went there.
Well, you know, it's a nice place. I have a few friends there, you know, who invite me on their yachts, as they do. You know, if you read the papers, ministers are often invited for weekends and so on at yachts, and it's very pleasant, I must say.
So have you been to Guernsey or Jersey or the Isle of Man before?
Oh, good Lord, no. I mean, it's cold most of the time, inhospitable, not the kind of place I'd want to visit at all, really.
So would you put Monaco in the same category as the Channel Islands and the Isle of Man?
Well, I'd put them in the same category in as much as they're all tax havens, but you have to realise there's tax havens and tax havens. There's a tax, you know, there's different, they're all for the very rich people to avoid their taxes, but there's different classes. You know, you have the high class, very rich people who live in Monaco, and then I suppose you have the middle of the road, very rich, who maybe put their money in, for example, the Cayman Islands or something, I don't know. And then you have the low class, plebby rich, who can't do any better than Channel Islands.
I see. Now, what would you class as low-class rich?
People who have their money in the Channel Islands.